Welcome back to Frostpunk, the last autumn. So we are currently working on the steel composites so that we can get, setting that into full working hours, so that we can get the core built for the generator. We're also waiting so we can pass the comfortable quarters law. And we need this dock to go to wood. Foragers have reached the 3 graves. The dots turn out to be graves. The headstones read Lob, Prolof, and Below. Who they were? Why were they buried in such a remote place? We will never know. So we've discovered the storehouse and Crève-Neige. Let's go to the Crève-Neige. Looking down the railroad track, we see a huge silhouette. I'm not sure what Crève-Neige means. Neige, I vaguely recall as a color. Maybe brown or grey? And by the way, I am expecting a phone call, so if the phone started ringing in the background, I will pause the recording and the game and take that phone call, of course. One, two, three, four, 5. Thankless bastards. Sir, workers who you so selflessly decided to rescue talked our people into going on strike. They now demand safe working conditions, shorter working hours, healthier food, better accommodation and good salary. Again. Use lethal force to pacify them. People will get badly hurt and some may die. Discontent will fall. 4 people were wounded. 2 of our people died. Discontent fell. Not ideal. Saboteur. Sir, a group of workers claims that they got the man they saw loitering around the construction site before the fire. The engineer explains in a trembling voice that he was waiting for a date, but nobody comes forward to confirm his story. A foreman scowls at him. Face the truth, boss. Engineers hate the changes. They sabotage the construction to have you sacked. Let's teach them a lesson. We have to punish him. So some of our people died. One engineer is hurt. Foragers have reached the Crève-Neige. An enormously huge locomotive lies on its side. It's a view both majestic and pathetic. What a waste. The engine is unbelievably huge, like a beached ship. It has overturned when the ground gave way under its massive weight and the tracks buckled. There's an inscription on its main boiler. Crève-Neige 2. Surely the French have a taste for dimensions. A pity that the land has let them down. Now we can only salvage the resources from this magnificent machine. 5 of those steel plates and 2 steam cores. And we've discovered the freight terminal and the icy plateau. Let's move on to the freight terminal. We really don't need these engineers working in here anymore. So I'm not going to waste wood. Don't even have the necessary wood for it. Let's put some engineers in here instead. This one should be set to coal. Can tear this one down. This one to food rations. And if we can build... it's 50 wood. It's too much. We'll take the workers out of here currently. Foragers have reached the freight terminal. The big double doors of the warehouse are open. Inside there is a stack of crates full of canned food with French labels. To the last can. As we take stock of the food supply, several workers appear and ask us if we understand their French, whether the crève neige is coming soon, because living here is becoming unbearable. They've been apparently waiting for their train for quite some time, sustaining themselves on canned food. Tell them the truth, we will not rob these people. Sauve qui peut. We told the poor Frenchmen that nobody's coming for them. They immediately started packing their food, preparing to set out. Going down to the icy plateau. Good fishing spot has been depleted. Send them up to the avalanche field. Transport has arrived with 1 steam core. Now let's set this to wood and put in workers. And we can order another steam core. I also think we researched the advanced docks, so let's build that on the wood. I don't think we need it on the other two yet. What we can do, however, is build another reloading station here instead of this gathering post. Foragers have reached the icy plateau. The rails are covered with ice, sometimes disappearing under it. We follow them until they are no longer visible. Track to nowhere. After the track disappeared under the ice, we followed its general direction for a couple of miles, seeing nothing on the horizon, then backtracked and fanned out, trying to find the place where the track comes back up. It seems that it does not. Where did the track lead? We might never know. We lost the track, that's it. Going to the storehouse will take us 20 hours, so we might as well go back to camp with the steam cores. Did I build a reloading station there? No, I didn't. Foragers have reached the avalanche field. It's getting cold. First snow. On this morning, the camp wakes up to the sight of dancing white flakes. The first snow came much sooner than anyone expected, and although it melts soon, the mood remains depressed. People shuffle through the mist, the falling snow muffling their voices and turning them pale like ghosts. Someone curses under their breath. This is the last thing we needed. Working in such cold is going to be a drag. This nasty surprise heralds an unnaturally early winter, but nobody feels like talking about that. Motivation will fall even more each morning. We must endure, and I should probably build the core. Boom. We will also hold a motivational speech. And these guys have reached the avalanche field. We've traversed the avalanche field and found no reindeer tracks on the other side. The herd might be buried at the foot of the mountain. Let's go to the herd of reindeer then. Have to turn the map around so we can do that. This one we should definitely do what we can to... It's still undangerous. Let's pass the comfortable quarters law now. Comfortable quarters signed on time. You have introduced the comfortable quarters law as promised. Motivation rises. That gives us 83 vacant beds. We have one person living in a care house. Probably get him a prosthetic. Now what? Fire danger. We require 5 steel composites. Sir, a small fire broke out in the unfinished core. We managed to put it out before it spread, but this is bound to happen again if we do not improve the work safety. Additionally, we can build fire dampers inside the structure to limit the scale of any potential fires and the damage from them. Remind me later, we need 5 steel composites for that, so let's get workers in here and make 5 of them. Accident avoided. Oh dear, these are off. That explains quite a bit. There we go. That probably means the bathhouses are off as well. They probably turned off because I ran out of coal at some point. Foragers have reached the herd of reindeer. Climbing the wall of snow, piled high by the avalanche, we found a herd of reindeer cut off in a small valley. Easy prey. The reindeer have no way to escape. Could stop here for a few days to hunt them and dig up those buried by the avalanche. Let's set up camp. 80 raw food for every day for 9 days. Purge. Sir, the militia rounded up all the engineers they consider troublesome. This lot has been causing trouble all along. Let's end it once and for all so that we can finally concentrate on building the generator. They are talking about mass execution and they're not asking for your permission. You will have 2 days to sign terror. Crap. So much for being benevolent. I can either execute them, or I can sign the law terror. Okay, well, a tribunal is at least better than just executing them, so we need a revolutionary tribunal. I'm pretty sure that the law terror is the final one up here. Indeed. One person will be executed each day. Yeah, so much for being benevolent. But getting this is not a good idea, the People's Militia. Workers in here. Now we can get another... they are returned. Good. How do I use those things? I have no idea, to be honest. Okay, so you guys can go to the rusting rails. Something juts out from the rocks like a huge blade of dry grass. Come on. Guess we could supercharge this thing. The beginning of the end. Change of plans. Sir, a telegram from London. We're going to be cut off. The frost is coming sooner than expected. Royal Meteorological Society warns that the sea will freeze in 12 days, stopping all navigation and fishing. We will cease all shipments in 10 days. Start stockpiling materials and food. The evacuation by an icebreaker is planned in 18 days. It is imperative that you complete the generator by then. Good luck. Temperature will fall drastically, deliveries will end on day 37, and you must finish the generator by day 45. Ooh, okay. Well, then. Upgrade both of the docks. Preparing for the cold. Sir, the coming cold threw everyone off guard. If the forecasts are true, it will make finishing construction that much more difficult. Crew working on technologies started thinking about ways we could at least mitigate the coming cold. If you want to, some ideas could be developed into solutions per your request. Show me. Eat. Good. Okay, so let's put engineers back to work. Braziers. That's like steam hubs, I guess. Let's get that. Then we don't need engineers in here. Did I put workers in one of these? Yes, I did. Transport has arrived with 1 steam core. I think we have 1. Yep, ordered this shipment. Can pass a new law. I don't have much of a choice. Terror. Healthy society must be free of parasites. For the good of the working masses, enemies of the people will be eliminated. New building, execution place. Execution place will lower the strike risk at all workplaces by 6. Each execution will increase motivation to the limit. We will have to build the execution place and 1 person will be executed each day. Crap. Motivation rises. Sigh. This does not make for a happy Caledorn. execution place has been established. Motivation rises. These guys do not have anything to do, so let's take them out of there. Put them in here and make 6 of these. Let's research efficient burners. Burn 33% less coal. Now, how big are the zones of these braziers? Not exactly what I would consider big. Can they be increased? Yes, they can. Fire dampers. Sir, we have now enough resources to build the fire dampers in the core, which will limit the damage if a fire breaks out. Build them. Takes away 5 steel composites, but that's fine. Okay, we are done here. Grateful father, letters from home. Sir, we have news about the father of the sick child you allowed to go home. He wrote one of his friends that his daughter did not make it, but is grateful that he could be there to hold her hand. Our people appreciate that you made the right call. Discontent falls slightly. I think coal is our primary concern. Efficient burners researched. Let's do radiator extensions, which allows us to extend the range of any brazier by 50% of the cost of doubling its coal use. Now what? Major accident, of course. Fire in the core. Sound of explosion comes from the generator, and then din of terrified voices. A fire broke out in the nearly finished core. Many workers are trapped inside. We can evacuate them, but if the fire is allowed to spread unchecked, it will destroy the core and forever cripple the generator. We can evacuate the workers, crippling the generator. And we don't have emergency safety system. Use the fire dampers to put the fire out is the best option we have. But the generator will only be nominally good, which means that I can do better. So, who knows, maybe I'll do a replay of the scenario. Foragers have reached the rusting rails. Hundreds of huge, extremely heavy rails lie here, partially sunken into the frozen ground. Sites discovered. Closed tavern. Haven't we already been there? Yes, we have. Go to the trapper's cabin. can do evening service to increase motivation. Transport has arrived with 1 steam core and 1 prosthetic. Let's wait until the logistical limit is to 40 so we can order 2 steam cores. Actually, let's just order 1 now and we can order 2 tomorrow. So we have 2 steam cores. Upgrade that one. And that one. One of our people died because of first execution. Sir, the first undesirable has just been executed. The man was brought to the execution place and boiled alive with hot steam. Although a few gentle souls looked away, most people watched in shock and awe. It will be a reminder to all of the grim fate that awaits traitors and slackers. The People's Militia already has another condemned lined up for tomorrow. Yeah, don't get the People's Militia if you want to be benign. Let's prepare these bodies. We have reached the trapper's cabin. This cabin is sturdy and shielded from the prevailing winds by the rock. A cozy refuge. A cast iron stove stands beside a desk and a sturdy chair. 2 books lie on the desk. On the origin of species by means of natural selection or the preservation of favored races in the struggle for life, by Charles Darwin, M.A., and Voyage au centre de la Terre, a novel by Jules Verne. There is also a crate of canned food here. These are good books. We will read them someday, but for now let's take the food. Moving on to the storehouse then. I don't think there are any more points for us to find, depending on if we discover any locations at the storehouse. Radiator extensions have been researched. Let's get the improved blowers. I expect we will be needing it. Suddenly we've got a lot of amputees. 4 people in palliative care. What happened now? Good old Aunt Sally. Workers' Council took the initiative to organize an after-hours Aunt Sally tournament. Workers are in high spirits, throwing sticks at a dolly crowned with an old bowler hat. Whack it, shouts one of the players, right in the head. Oh, what a shot. I swear this dolly looks like my bloody foreman in his stupid hat. Motivation rises slightly. Okay. How is the coal income currently? Guess we can do this. Okay, so these guys have reached the storehouse. The store is filled with crates used to transport steam cores, dozens of them, enough to power an entire fleet of dreadnoughts. Most of the crates are empty. Steam cores, s'il vous plaît? The sign over the entrance says Ministre de la Marine et de Colonie, Entrepôt 4. It is not surprising that other nations also seek refuge in the north, but the scale of this operation is astonishing. An ancient storekeeper opens a big ledger at our site. The old man apparently took us for French engineers. Bonjour, monsieur. Voici vos noyaux de vapeur. Vous les signer ici? Et ici? Ça devrait être suffisant pour réparer le crève-neige? He seems to offer us a shipment of steam cores, but what the heck is a crève-neige? Since we're already going the bad way, let's just nod and sign the papers. We took the steam cores that we were offered by mistake, and the old storekeeper waved us goodbye and left us with the precious loot. Since the crève-neige is just lying in a heap over there anyways, I don't see how it could be any use to the French. We also need to research. I think we'll have to do the automatic prototyping to get the advanced burners. We can pass a new law. Show of force. That can lower discontent and strike risk, but not a good idea. Propaganda, on the other hand, that sounds useful. Dispensary? I don't think so. Propaganda is probably the most useful law here now. I think we're basically done with whatever is useful over here. I don't want this. So we will go with exactly that. Propaganda, sign that law. And we will have to build a few agitators. That seems like a good spot. That seems like a good spot. That seems pretty decent. Then of course we need to build a road out here, so we can get a final agitator covering all of those things, and one covering the harbor as well. That should be basically all of our workplaces covered. Steam core. Let's build a final execution again. And we have achieved another milestone. Assemble the generator. Now erect the 2 parts of the thermal hull, which will make up the central part of the generator. After it's done, the generator will be ready. And of course they executed someone working there. So Steam, well, they're not working yet, but it's a new day and I want to end the episode here. Let's build this one into an advanced loading station, and we'll see what happens in the next episode. This has gotten way out of hand, but I guess that's part of the fun as well, not knowing what's going to happen. But yes, so much for being benign. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I will see you all in the next episode.